Ralph here. Welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness. On this wonderful Wednesday here in Connecticut. Life is good, campers. Life is good. Anyway, beautiful day. You can see the sun coming in. Frigid. It was literally 27 degrees when I went out to start the car for my wife before she went to work. I'm not riding my bike in that. So 300 kettlebell swings later and a trip through the SFE book. I'm compressed, ready to go. Let's see how that works with my first notes of the day. Anyway, you saw the thumbnail. Intonation. I'm going to do a couple things, a couple notes after my high notes, whatever they may be. I'm going to do a couple notes that have to do with the intonation, and I'll explain it when I come up to talk. All right? All right. My Lord, guys. Good to go. Okay. Now, there are a couple notes on every trumpet that are a little out of tune. Remember, we're talking about intonation. Usually, well, easily, the D and the low C sharp below the staff, and the D in the staff. Now I want to show you something. Now, I am not touching a slide, okay? C sharp. D in the staff. Okay, that was a G above double C, right down into a D, bending a quarter tone, C sharp, bending a quarter tone, D, E flat, and E. Those are all rough notes, for generally speaking, on all trumpets. Now, right off the bat, guys, bending tones to build chops is nonsense. Stupid, is drivel, it makes no sense at all. Okay? There is nothing that happens on those bends that creates compression. Nothing. Instead of doing 20 minutes of bends that a lot of these yahoos tell you to do, you should do 20 minutes of kettlebell and your intonation would kick right in. Okay? Now I want to tell you a story. Now, I studied with Jerry for 40 years plus. I don't remember the first, 45 years, doesn't matter. But once my chops got pretty well locked in. Now remember, over those years, lots of different mouthpieces, lots of different trumpets, multitude of different lip positions and tongue positions and all that. When we played a first note together, a middle C, it was locked in. Locked in. We didn't have to move. Neither of us had to move a tuning slide one bit. Okay? I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say the Triscari brothers going on a playing date with Gazzo and, let's say, John Audino. Okay? I guarantee you they didn't worry once about intonation, no matter how often they played together or didn't play together. There's a reason for this. I'm getting to it. Okay? Maybe a little manipulation by one of them. Okay? How about Perello and Harry James. You think they worried one iota about intonation? How about, I heard Perello and Tom DeLieber live. They weren't tuning up. They didn't have a tuning instrument in front of them. They weren't tuning. I heard them back. I talked to them before they went in the dressing room. I didn't hear one note in the dressing room unless it was soundproof. And then they come out. There was no, tuning up at the piano. Nothing. They didn't touch their slides. Locked in. Now, if they're doing the Rat Pack, 8 shows a week, they're playing together, so there's not a whole lot of manipulation there. But Jerry and I would sometimes go a couple months without an actual lesson. We tune and boom, locked in. I had one of the best brass quintets ever assembled when I was playing full time. Trumps, trumpeters, they called us. We couldn't handle the work. I had to break up the group on tough days and send them out individually because we couldn't handle all the work. We're a sensation. Locked in. Tuba, bass trombone, regular trombone, French horn, didn't matter. 2 trumpets, locked in. Now, we're playing a lot together. Now, where am I going with this? Guys, if your tone, and if DeLieber's watching this, if Perico's watching this, they're shaking their head. They're shaking their head. If Drozdov's watching this, he's shaking his head. If your guy's tone is centered, I don't care if you like the quality or whatever. If it is centered and there's no strain, it locks in. Is there a little manipulation? If you played with a horrific band the night before and you had to pull your slide out, 2 inches, and then, oh yeah, there might be, but once you get locked in, it is there, and it is there forever because the tone is centered. Now, what happens if you are playing with a centered tone locked in by the greatest mouthpiece ever, and you are playing with 3 guys that are on B-flat bathtub box, or any kind of Bach? Guys, their tone, instead of centered, is going to be spread. Instead of Doc Severinsen, instead of, Gazzo, where the tone is right here, right here, the tone is going to be out here. Look at all the more room it has. This is intonation here, man. Where the intonation go up. Those guys, you look at the orchestral guys, they are constantly throwing their slides out. Guys, I talked with a student just the other day. My Bizet's Carmen, which goes down to the F, Vacchiano couldn't believe it because I did it all on regular fingering and the low F was an F sharp. Vacchiano had all his students, Phil Smith, John Ware. I played it for John Ware. I'll get to John Ware in a second. Bizet's Carmen. All of them would manipulate their B-flat trumpets, pull out every single slide, and they would put little marks if they're going in for an audition. Little marks on the slides to know where they were to pull out, where they would turn the trumpet into A. And it was a horrific intonation nightmare just to get that low F. So that actually, if a trumpet in A, they could play a low F sharp and it would sound trumpet in F. It would sound the low F. Why? What they're doing is they are distorting the trumpet so badly that the intonation was shot. I played the same thing for John Ware. My way. Regular fingering. Okay? He said, wow. Did you play that for Bill? He said, yeah. He said he couldn't believe it. All right. Guys, if the tone is set, that's another one. John Ware and I used to play duets all the time. No need to move a tuning slide. If the tone is centered. Guys, now I am not here to tell you. Tone is very, very subjective. I'm not here to tell you who you want to sound like. Okay? But, guys, if you want to sound like a bassoon, play the bassoon. If you want to sound like the trumpet, keep the tone centered, pure, brilliant. and relaxed so you can manipulate the timbre a la Dave Perico if you want to. That's another one. Perico and Delibera and Perello playing Bugler's Holiday for the sake of argument. They don't have to touch a tuning slide. All right? Keep the tone centered. Great intonation. All right? Love you all. Have a great day.